Good morning and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 138 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for folk with a growth mindset or folks who'd like to create one. It's for folk who are dedicated to getting better at being who they be rather than being distracted merely by the idea of getting better at doing what they do. They're already aware that the latter is the natural outcome of the former. All right, so still out in California. Been out in California for the last couple of weeks for the wedding of my eldest child, which was just this past Saturday. This conversation today isn't about that. It's about the power of play. The idea that, let me start with this. A couple of decades ago, the father of my then business partner taught us both an interesting lesson. I'd say it was sage advice. Taught us that when people show their true colors, you pay attention. That lesson became invaluable. But I have a new awareness of it now, especially after spending the last better part of a week with my in-laws, the parents and the family of my eldest child. Of the myriad ways to explore the essence of a person, my favorite is absolutely through play. It gives me an incredible idea of who a person is. And that's what our conversation is about. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. A conversation, for the most part, is a conscious effort, meaning that we are aware, if not self-aware, and engaged consciously with someone else. The conversation is ripe with intention and even a degree of planning, even a performative edge. Play, on the other hand, tends towards the spontaneous, the unconscious, the fluid. Play reveals the inner child of someone, their essence, their heart, who they be at their core. And relationships, though yes, still strengthened and deepened through conversation, it gets real through play. Play is present and authentic. And play is important. Play is essentially experimentation. Play is exploration. Play is rich and real and raw. And it's the opportunity to be unfiltered and to show up naturally. Conversations get to an intellectual and spiritual depth. Yet play gives us so much more of who a person is. We're about to get the video of the wedding ceremony, which I officiated, and getting a chance to watch how these two magnificent humans who are now married got a chance to play this week and play with each other even during the ceremony and play with the concepts and the context and the ideas of the ceremony, and getting to plan it out with them and play with these ideas. It was remarkable to see who these two humans were and to see how they showed up. I know one of them incredibly well. Our eldest is 26. I've known them their whole life. And meeting their fiance and watching how they and their family engaged with all this. There's so much to learn about people by seeing how they engage in the world from a place of play. And there's always a time to be serious and a time for the serious and a time for depth and intensity. And play is revelatory. It unearths and uncovers people at their essence. Look, in my coaching, I don't start off coaching calls. I may say, what do you want coaching around today? But most often I say, what do you want to play with today? Amazing how much more effort, energy, heart, and depth people will put into something, and experimentation and exploration when you say play instead of work. What do you want to play with today? Or, hey, let's play with this. Are you willing to play with an idea? And Mary Virginia's right. Yes, play opens up space for flow. And that's the piece. You get to play with new ideas, new places, new concepts, new understanding. Play opens up a space for flow. I really like that because it does. I mean, yeah, okay, look, for those of you that are runners, one of the places we talk about that Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi talks about flow, you even get it in that the flow comes in that theta state that people hit during, I don't know, they call it the runner's high, that you get into that zone. And in athletics and physical performance, flow states often show up in that. We call it hitting the zone, getting into the zone. Play is like that too. In play, you can be so out of the conscious and so out of the considered and the calculating and the performative that third-party observer overlay can quiet. And in play, you can be disconnected from all that is considered and planned and performative and get into that flow state of pure presence. It's dangerous to live without that. It's dangerous to spend too much of our time without play. Watch animals when they engage with each other. There is play that is visible in the interaction patterns of almost every single species. It's almost as if that which separates us from the animals, our ability to think, reason, and anticipate, we have allowed to be the very thing that degrades our ability to play. We cheat ourselves. We take out that willingness to play and explore because we may be considered or judged. Like, play is the most natural thing on the planet. Our our eldest and their wife have a couple of pets in the house. And watching the dog and the bunny play with each other, it's amazing. It's natural. It's exploration. Where are you inviting play into your world, your personal and your professional world? Where are you allowing that to come in and offer the opportunity for exploration, for an energy shift, for flow? IDEO, which is an idea generation and idea engineering and product design firm, talks a lot about play, and the Center for Creative Leadership talks a lot about play, playing with new ideas, play as team building, play as exploration, play as experimentation. And there's study after study after study after study, and yet, do we listen to that? So much of what's becoming the old style, the command and control, top-down rigidity style that even the military has abandoned decades ago, has us in our workspaces being ridiculously serious. Mo Carrick has written a book called Brave Space Workspace, talking about how important it is to bring that bravery and connection to self back in. And Ed Everett's with Be Brave at Work. All these topics are talking about bringing bravery back to the workspace. Yes, critical and important. What if we brought play back to the workspace? What if we brought play and pure experimentation back to our work? They just announced the Nobel Prize in Economics this morning, and 2 Americans just won that prize based on their work around auctions. One of the things, oh, I wish I could remember his name. They woke him up at 3 o'clock in California this morning to tell him. One of the things they've spoken about in research is how many different ideas they played with in exploring auction design. When you think about how pervasive auctions are, from the government auctioning off radio spectrum, which they used to give for free, but then raised millions and millions of dollars by auctioning them off, all the way down to trinkets on eBay. Look at the ideas of just won a Nobel Prize in economics, and yet they were talking about all the different concepts and ways for auctions to show up they played with. Play is everywhere. Where is it in your world? Virginia says, in play, you can create and recreate without feeling you have to get it right or be perfect. Inherently, we get to start over, add on, or alter. God, it's a perfect capture of what experimentation is what it is. Getting to create and recreate without feeling you have to get it right. It's the whole idea. There isn't a right. Where is play showing up in your world? More importantly, where can it show up in your world, and what would that unleash for you? What is your relationship with play? Look at the parents and kids that are stir crazy. I'm seeing story after story of parents juggling work and still schooling at home, or the vacillations between in-person and distance learning, and going back and forth and back and forth, and how these parents are coping with it. Look at how much of a possibility these children are not getting as much of the play that they had available to them. My wife, who works with parents of kids with complex needs, one of the things we're watching now is kids, particularly first and second graders, who have started to groove into some sense of structure at school, are the ones having the most trouble, because now there's no structure and they're back at home. And the very things that they were getting, structured playtime and structured learning, they're not getting. Parents are just trying to, sometimes just getting through the day is a Herculean task. It's not good for kids to be without play. So why do we think it's okay for adults to be okay without play? It's not okay. It's slowly killing people. I'm not overstating. Your relationship with play is essential. Pay attention to it. And this week, pay a lot of attention to it. See where play is showing up and can show up in your world, and where the opportunity is there to invite play into your world. See what shifts, see what changes, whether with your energy or outcomes or both. We chose to stay in California for an extra week. Took a lot to get out here, so we've got work, East Coast hours every day this week, even through Saturday. Yet in the evenings, we have the opportunity to play with folk that we know who live out here. It's important to bring play into your world. And if you have to structure containers for play to be invited into your world, do it. Come on, we had recess hour when we were kids. Playtime. Build it into your day. Play with new ideas, new concepts, new people. Invite play into your world and see what changes. So between now and next Monday, come to facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays. Share your experience with play and how it changes things for you. Also, once you've gotten your book, Mindset Mondays with DTK, in the book, I talk about play a lot and where play can show up in your world and actual tools to bring that to bear. You can find more at mindsetmondayswithdtk.com. Once you've got the book, MindsetMondaysAccelerator.com is a tool to help you stay on track using what you learned from the book. So come to Mindset Mondays with DTK.com. You'll find access to the Facebook group, information on the book, and information on the accelerator. And between now and next week, what mindset will you choose?